Hello, digital marketeers. So, in the today's topic, we are going to talk about Google Ad Campaign Optimization. And I guess this could be one of the longest awaited topic of the series, where we have been talking about creating different kind of campaigns over Google. And then we also discussed about things like conversion, tracking, remarketing campaign, and then we discussed a lot of things in this series so far. And now I have been getting this question a lot that how do we optimize a campaign? And I know for the fact that there's not a particular point or a parameter on which the campaigns can be optimized. But then I took a lot of time to think about the standard points and things which we can evaluate and further adopt in any campaign within a Google Ad account. So once this video is completed, I'll be adding the link of this particular sheet to the regular training document. And also I'll try to share the links below the video, which is going to be uploaded over YouTube or maybe Facebook. All right, so let's begin. So first thing, which is very basic requirement, if you want to run any Google ad campaign, or if you want to track the performance, or if you want to optimize the campaign, then you need to have a conversion code placed on the thank you page. Now, the two codes that you place on the website, one could be a regular global site tag or audience tag, which goes on the pages of the website, in fact, on all the pages of the site. And the final one is the conversion tracking code, which goes on the thank you page of your website. Now, thank you page is one which depicts or where you track that particular action as your conversion, as your success of that particular campaign. Now, so I have divided this entire training document or optimization process into 7 levels, starting from level 1 to level 2, and every level is further divided into different sections depending on the requirement. Now, I'll be also opening up one of the Google Ad accounts like this so we can practically understand how do we make these kind of changes in the accounts. All right. Now, so I guess we all know that keyword is the soul of any Google ad search campaign, as interest or audience is the soul of any Facebook campaign. So the first level is going to talk about keywords. And here we talk how do we optimize the campaign through the keywords search term report. Now, people who have not gone through the search term report, they simply have to go into campaign and then they have to choose a date range. I prefer people to either choose a date range of last 7 days or maybe last 30 days. And then they get into, well, I'm a fan of optimizing the campaign on the weekly basis. And this could be again like a recommendation for you to not do over optimization of the campaigns. Try to wait for at least a week's time after making any change so that the campaign can also start working as per the changes that you are doing in the accounts. Okay, so in order to get to the search term report, which is a report through which we see if the keyword performance is running good or not, you come into campaign, then you go into keywords tab, and then you click on search terms. Now, search terms shows you your historical searches for the last 7 days, which is the date range which we had selected in the account. Now, the first change could be keyword mesh type. So if we see that keyword mesh type is not driving the relevant search terms after going through the search terms report, and we can also add keywords against this search term. So let's say I go to column and then I click on modify column, I go to attributes and I click on keyword. And also I move this keyword from to the top so it shows right next to my search term column. Okay, it's not visible right next to search term, but then I can have it over here. Now, if I see that these mesh types, which is in phrase currently, is not resulting into relevant searches, and it's happening with majority of the search terms, then it's time to change the mesh type from broad to phrase or maybe phrase to exact. Also, if I see if my campaign is not generating good number of impressions or clicks, then I should be changing the mesh types from exact to broad or phrase. Now, having keywords in broad means you are going to show your ads to maximum number of people, and you're having broader audience for Google Ads. And when you move from broad to phrase to exact, then basically you are narrowing down the audience from larger section. That means from broader to the lower section, not lower, but maybe to the limited number of people who are exactly typing the terms in the keywords. Now, the second level, which is called as KW2, could be removing or pausing the keywords which the irrelevant search terms. So if you find that there are a couple of keywords which are driving constantly non-relevant terms, and those terms are not going to be, fruitful for your campaign, then you simply pause those keywords. Either pause or remove it. Pause it if you think you need the data to be there, and you also can like enable that keyword after a while, then maybe you simply pause the campaign. Also, if you see that there are lot many keywords which are having clicks but no conversions, not through the search term but through the search keywords tab, and now let's say there's a keyword which is constantly having the clicks but then it's not driving any conversion to the campaign, then you simply pause the campaign. Now this campaign did not really work in last 7 days. We were not having it active, so I'm gonna take a longer duration over here, maybe just a little longer. All right, or let's get into this campaign. Okay, now in the third one, which is KW3, add relevant keywords from search term report or high converting terms. So for this, you get into keywords, you get to search terms tab, and if you feel or see there's a term which is having good number of conversions over here in the conversions tab, but that term is not added in the keyword, then you simply copy this term and add into the keyword, or click the terms like this and click on add keyword. Now, one quick recommendation from my end could be try to add the keywords in the phrase mesh. Don't go in broad, because broad is gonna give you a lot many irrelevant searches, and when you move to exact, then your audience gets very much limited. So try to go into phrase first, and then maybe through the search terms report, you think about changing the types from phrase to broad or phrase to exact. Now, the last change of this keyword section could be adding up most of the irrelevant terms into negative. So you have like this kind of like I don't have much relevant, or I'm sorry, irrelevant terms in the list, but whenever you feel that there's lot many irrelevant terms, let's say this one, Quora, or let me see if I'm able to find, okay, PG. Now PG could be the term that you should be adding in negative, because this campaign is not for providing PG. So we go to negative terms and then we simply click on plus and we add PG in negative. Along with PG, I can also think about adding flats, rooms in negative as well. Okay. Now before adding the terms in negative, you have to very deeply understand what kind of business you are running. And in fact, even before starting the campaign, you can think about having some negative keywords in your mind so that you can add those terms in negative. Like I have a full list of negative list. If you want to see how I start my campaigns, and negative keywords, I don't know if this is gonna be pulled up quickly. Let's see if I'm able to pull up this list from the account. Here, I'll be going into another account of mine, and simply I just want to show you how do you prepare your negative keywords list. All right, so now this list doesn't seem to be appearing in my system. Okay. All right, I should be taking one more minute. Negative. Okay, I got it. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's say if we are running the campaign in India, so what I do majorly, I go to, I have a list of countries and I choose all these countries and I go to the campaign label, account label, in fact, from tools and settings to negative keyword list, and I add the list of all these countries into negative, excluding India. Similarly, if I'm running the campaign for city like Delhi, then I copy all the city list from this from over here, and then I simply copy this list excluding Delhi. Same goes for state. And then I have some generic terms which is listed in one of the sheets probably. And let's see if I'm able to open up that sheet for you, because the sheet is quite lengthy and I don't remember where exactly I have added those terms. Okay, so these are some terms. Okay, so these are the generic negative. I should be having a sheet, in fact, that talks about negative, generic negatives. And I know I'm taking a lot of time, but then I just wanted to show you how you should be starting with your campaign by having negative keywords in the account so you don't waste a lot of your money on the account. So any business that is there in the market, people still make a lot of searches about books of that business, jobs in that business, photo of that business, pictures of that business, and then images of that business, vacancies against that business, songs of that, not the business, but in that relevant, movies, games, news, rants, leasing, questions, interviews, tutorial, download, video, how, free, car, interns. Now, these are the list, or this is the information that people are majorly looking for over the internet. And you should always be going through it once. And if you feel that you need to, or you should be adding these terms in negative, then just try to use this list. I'm gonna add this list, at least the viewer view, into the main marketing document. I'm sorry, main training document, which I name as negative keywords list. I might gonna cover up another video, a longer one about negative training, because this is gonna be taking a lot of time otherwise. And I can simply update the list over here. All right. Now let's quickly get into the second level of changes, that could be bidding changes. This is all about increasing or decreasing bids on the parameters or at the sections where you feel that your campaign is either performing or not performing. The first could be on the groups level. So let's say if your campaign is having multiple groups. Now this campaign is not having, either of these campaigns are not having multiple groups. So I'll probably open an account which would be having multiple groups to show. So let's say I go into, right, let me try to open up the accounts. That should be, okay, this one. And I'll come back to this account then. Now the idea of this B1 change in bidding is to increase the bids with the high performing ad groups. So now let's say we have one campaign which is having 4 or 5 ad groups, and out of 5, if we find that one of the ad groups is giving good number of conversions in the lowest cost, then we should be bidding high on that group. And this is what we have done actually. So now in this campaign, in these groups, we can see this group, the second one, is driving the maximum leads also at the lowest cost. So we wanted to have maximum leads coming through this group, so that uh, we generate maximum number of leads at the lowest cost. So that's why we increase the bidding for this particular group after having manual CPC as the bidding strategy. In fact, we can also break up these groups into different campaigns, maybe 4 campaigns, and we can allot maximum budget to this particular group, so that this group, which is already performing very highly for us in terms of having lowest cost per lead, would utilize the maximum budget. And then that will eventually help us to get the maximum number of leads. Now, the second way of optimization could be on the gender level. So let's say if we go to gender, which will be coming up under audiences now, and if we feel that either of male and female as the two available genders for any campaign, if we feel that one of the genders out of two is gonna give us, well, let me show the chart type, or in fact the table, and let me choose one of the available groups in the campaign. And here, if I see that males are having highest conversion rate compared to female, then I should be increasing the bidding for males maybe by a couple of percent. And that will eventually help me to increase the conversions coming from males, or would be also be showing ads more to males as like compared to females. Now, if I talk about the third one, which is increase bids for high converting age range, similarly, I can look into age range from the demography section. And if I feel that there's a range of age which is giving me highest leads, also in lowest conversion, like this, then I should be decreasing bids for that particular age range. Now, I've seen a lot of people who think, why don't we increase the bidding for highest number of lead section? But then there's no point in doing it because that particular section or that particular group is already consuming highest budget, but also the cost per conversion is high. So let's say if I increase the bidding of this group, which is 18 to 24, or the second one, which is 25 to 34, then I'll be showing ads more to this section. And these two sections are already having higher cost per conversion. So eventually my lead cost will increase. It won't be going down. But if I increase bid on this section, which is giving me a lead of in 234 rupees, now let's say this section starts consuming maximum budget of the campaign, or yeah, in that case, my overall lead cost will go down, and in one particular day, my lead numbers will get high for sure. Now, in the fourth level of bidding changes, we can talk about highly spending on the days where we are having highest conversions. So let's say I come into campaign again, and this time I get into ad scheduling. And if I see that there's a particular date or there's a particular day which is highly giving us maximum number of leads as compared to the other one, not only maximum but lead at the lower cost, then I should be scheduling highly on that particular day. Now, I don't get this report over here because I have not started any time scheduling. But if you want to see that report, you go to reports, you get into predefined, and then you look for uh, day of the week report. Now, here, when you pull up day of the week report, you can get into the days, and like see from here, you can see okay, so you can see this particular day, which is Monday actually, is having the highest conversion rate, should be having the lowest cost per conversion. Now, there's not a much difference in terms of days, but it happens when you're running e-commerce campaigns. You realize that days like Saturday or Sunday or maybe Friday are having highest number of conversion rates, or maybe at the start of the month when it's first, second, or third, maybe seventh or eighth, when majority of the people get their salaries, those days are having highest conversion rates. So maybe you can pre-plan to spend more on such days where the chances of buying pattern or chances of purchase is going to be higher. Now, one of the similar kind of report could be location report, where instead of going with days, you get into reports, and then you go to location and you pull up a report from locations tab, and if you see that you have highest conversion rate from one particular location, then maybe you add that location or you increase the bid for that location. Either increase the bid, or you can also split the campaign in 2 or 3 locations and then put more budgets on the location which is giving you highest conversions or conversion into our costs. Now, the last options of bidding strategies could be on the device level, where you get into device segmentation of your campaign from here to here. And then if you feel that any of the two devices, majority of the clicks comes from either mobile or computers. Now let's see if you feel that mobile phones are having higher conversion rate and then lesser cost of conversion, then we should be bidding high on the mobile devices. So I maybe increase this bidding by 20%. Okay. Now I guess we already covered keyword level of optimization, then bid level of optimization. Now, one of the very important optimization to rank our ads highest on Google is going to be quality score optimization. And I hope we are aware about the fact that we have three main parameters of quality score, which is ad relevancy, click-through rate, and LPE, which is landing page experience. And having the highest quality score, which could be 10 out of, on the scale of 1 to 10, means even at the lower cost, even at the low bid, your ad could rank very high in Google search results. To maintain the high ad relevancy, you should be having a relevant and excellent ad copy to achieve a score of like above average score. That could be 3. Now 3 is not a number which is defined by Google, but when you do some math, then you realize that out of 3 parameters, which is either below average, average, or above average, your quality score gets somewhere around 3 rank when it's getting above average quality score. Now to show how to maintain the ad relevancy, let me pull up the previous account. And well, simply just have to get into ad X. Oh God, this is gonna take a much time now. So let me show you from here only. So when you go into ad, and then when you try to modify any single ad, this any of the ads nowadays gets either good, bad, or maybe average or excellent strength. Now this is the strength that you have to maintain, and thus you normally get suggestions over here. Now let's say the ad strength is average, and Google is recommending me to add a couple of keywords in the ad account. I'm sorry, in the ad copy. So let's say I copy keywords from here and I put it over here. Now this is ad strength. Now you see this changed from average to good. Similarly, if I will be adding this keyword into the ad set, then this strength should be getting excellent. And okay, so this has not become excellent, but normally when you try to make a couple of more changes in the ad copy, then it becomes excellent. The reason I'm not doing it right now because it's going to take a lot of time to work on the ad copy. Anyways, now the second section of the quality score level could be on the CTR level. CTR is all about having higher click-through rate when your ad appears on Google search result. So for doing that, you should be initially bidding with the higher amount. So let's say if the average bidding cost is 20 rupees for a click, then if you bid with 30, then the chances are a lot to show the ads in the top position, maybe at the first or second position. And then once your CTR is more than 10% and you get a free quality score, then later on after a week's time you can decrease the the bidding amount back to 20, maybe even to 18, and that's like a like a crack or like a way to bid to have a higher CTR for any of the keyword in the campaign. Now, the third parameter could be landing page experience, which is a very lengthy parameter though, but I have added points that could help you to understand how to have a higher landing page experience in any campaign. First, your website should be very fast. You should be using best servers. so that when a website loads, then it should be having higher response rate. Now, if the website is not responsive, it's really slow, then trust me, Google is not going to give you good landing page experience. Second is all about having a good mobile view. If your website view lacks on mobile devices, again, Google is not gonna give you good landing page experience. Similarly, you should be having keyword availability on the landing page. It should be engaging landing page. It should not be like somebody lands on the landing page and then he just bounces off the landing page. So the bounce rate should be low. You should be having good call to action buttons on the landing page. Now, call to action buttons are like, let me show you a landing page. This is one of the landing page that I or we majorly keep for majority of the clients, because this is the one in which we are having good number of, like, more than 10% conversion rate. Or let me try to open up the one which we are currently running the campaign. So let's say I get into, okay, let's open this one. Now here on this page, this is for an institute who are providing online and offline Oracle classes. In this landing page, we have this call to action text, which says get 20% offer on live training. And when somebody clicks on apply now, he get this entire form. This is one of the example of a good call to action button. Second, when somebody clicks on over here, he again get this form. Third, anyone who lands on the website, he get this kind of inquiry form right in front, which is also having the phone number with very attractive lines, so that people or person who is reading the line, he get interested to fill up the inquiry form. And then the inquiry form looks like an actual form, like a offline form, a form or a pamphlet that somebody gives to you to fill up, so that it's easy for people to understand that this is a form. The form should not be matching with the background color, otherwise it does not appear good on the websites. And now if somebody scrolls and reads out the courses and again click on this button, he gets the inquiry form. Now on the mobile view, which actually looks like this, I'm having this phone call button, and at the bottom we have online classes button. So again, you see this looks better in the mobile device. This does not look like this at all in mobile. These kind of landing pages are going to really drive you a conversion rate of more than 5%. Now coming back to the sheet, the last one is the extension, which means you should be having at least 4 extensions in any campaign, recommended to have more than 4. Now talking about level 2, which is bid strategy changes. Now bid strategy is something where people are always, ask me, or always confused if they start with maximize clicks, if they go with manual CPC, if they go with target CPA, target impression share, and they're always confused about it. And trust me, there's no thumb rule that Google says or anybody, any expert says that go with this bidding strategy and that's going to give you the best results. No, you have to test different bidding strategies at different duration of the campaigns, and whichsoever is suitable for your campaign or driving the maximum number of leads and lowest cost, go with that strategy. I simply start with maximize clicks. That's the one of the best bidding strategies I like in the account, because this one allows me to have a very control on my keyword bidding. At the same time, it keeps a control of all the keywords in that campaign or the group, right? So you can also start with either maximize clicks or manual CPC. Manual CPC allows you to adjust bid at different level, maybe at the keyword or that group level. And then once the campaign starts picking up, it starts having some data in the account where the recommended leads or conversion data should be around 30 to 50 leads. Then you can switch over from maximize click to maximum conversions or maximum conversion value. Now, after a long duration, when your accounts are having good number of leads or sales into it, then maximum conversion can give you a better lead. That means lead in lesser cost as compared to the initial two bidding strategies. But that's not like a thumb rule that it's always going to happen like this. And at any point of time, if you go with maximize target CPA and you feel that the lead cost is really not dropping less as per the expectation, then you can switch back to different these two strategies. Now this is something where you have to switch not once a week, but you should be trying different bidding strategies whenever it's needed. Maybe try to stick with one bidding strategy for at least a month time. If not month, then at least for 2 weeks, and then see the difference between the days when you have this bidding strategy versus the days when you have the other bidding strategy. Don't try to have or switch bidding strategies like 5 bidding strategies a week. That won't help you. At least have the bidding strategy for 14 or days or a month. Now, moving to the next level is all about optimization score. Okay, now this is one of the very important topic where Google gives us a lot of recommendations in the recommendation tab, which means over here, and Google want us to adopt all those points. And these adoptions are sometimes making sense, but sometimes they're really funny and they don't make sense at all. You might also get options to increase the budget because Google just want you to improve, like spend more on Google. You might get options like add new keywords, even if the keywords are not making any sense for the campaign. So I really don't like accepting these recommendations until and unless I'm very certain about accepting those invitation. I'm sorry, accepting those recommendations. If I want to improve my score, so I can either adopt it by clicking on the apply button or I can dismiss it. Even dismissing the recommendation increases my optimization score. And dismiss this one too. And let's say if I dismiss optimization score with higher points, so let's say Google is asking me to upload customer data, which I don't have in this account. So definitely I'll be dismissing this point, and this raises my recommendations score to 77.7%. Again, I don't want to add any dynamic image extension, and this should be raising more than 80%. So that's how you can improve your optimization scores. Now coming to the auto implementation of these recommendations, which is never ever recommended. You don't want Google to automatically apply anything in the accounts. You come into uh, like recommendations tab, and there you should be getting an auto apply button. Okay, I don't know where this button has gone today. Otherwise, this button appears over here somewhere. I don't know if something is wrong in this account or I lost touch with Google Ads. Well, let me try going to another account, which could be okay. So let's get into this account and see why we don't have the recommendation auto apply button in the previous account. All right, so this is taking a while, but it should open right in a moment, at least at your system if you are having a very nice internet connection. Otherwise, this might do the same. I don't know, at least my connection is good, but then I'm still not getting it properly. Anyways, so I'm getting into recommendations. All right, so here you have this auto apply button. I don't know why this button was not appearing in that account. So normally when you create an account, Google is having some by default auto recommendations on. You have to make sure you disable all these options. I really don't want Google to make any change in the campaign by itself, which Google always try to do. That's why Google keeps on doing the recommendation. And if you are having these kind of auto applications on, then it means Google will be automatically making the changes in the account and you will never know why and how the changes are happening. Even though when you get into like historical data through the change history button, which appears somewhere at the bottom. Okay, again, I don't know why this changes to okay over here. And then you can see how the changes are happening in the campaigns. So you can see all these changes, and then also you get to see the time stamp and the ID of the person who is making the change. But then you also be going through what changes are happening, and if you want to see if the changes had happened by the system automatically, then you will also be getting auto apply written over here, and here it would say auto. So I don't recommend people to either apply optimization scores randomly and also having the auto apply option on in any Google Ad account. Now, the second last one is removing or adding search or display network partners. So in any search campaign, you have this option available through which you can either add a search network or a display network. Having search network means your ads are going to be placed on websites like YouTube for sure. And then apart from YouTube, which is Google's internal search network, you have so many third-party networks like AOL.com, DuckDuckGo.com, I'm sorry, and I don't know out of these many partners who is the current Google partner, but yes, if they are, then your ads are going to be shown on these search networks. If you choose display, let's you click over here, then definitely your ad is going to show on third-party networks, websites like NDTV, websites like QuickBuzz. So any of the Google partner websites, which is also called as GDN websites, websites who become Google partner after signing up on Google AdSense, they start appearing your ad, like showing your ad. So you should not be having this option on. And somehow, if this option is on and you want to see how is your campaign performing on different networks, then you come to campaign and then you click on, well, you click on segment and then you click on networks. It should be up here. Okay, so you click on over here, network research partners, and then here you will be seeing the breakdown in this tab. So we can see out of total number of clicks, we have got 8 clicks from search partners, and then this had given me no conversion. Had we have we had a display network section or display network box enabled, then we would also be having some data over here, and then we can decide out of these three networks which network to choose and which network to remove. Of course, you cannot think about removing Google Search Network because that's the primary network of the campaign. Now, one of the last point is all about adding the different audience list in the campaign. Even this is something that you can do to the search campaign. At least you can have the remarketing audience added to search campaign. But if you do so, then your campaign is gonna narrow down to people available in that particular list. So if you are looking to make your campaign from search to RLSA campaign, which stands for remarketing list for search ads, you should be having a regular search campaign and maybe a remarketing search campaign. Apart from this, you can also get into audience and you can further narrow down the campaign performance by adding some segments into the list. These segments are available when you get into edit audience segment, campaign. Okay. Yeah, when you get into edit audience segment, campaigns, and then you choose a campaign, and over here, you narrow your audience by selecting a list available like this. So whenever you choose a list from the audience, your campaign is going to be narrowed down, but that will increase your quality score as well. So I guess all these points should be definitely helping you to understand and having a document at your desk in your laptops or desktops. And then through these documents, because whenever you do the optimization, you don't remember what exactly is the optimization you do. So I guess this is gonna help you to optimize your campaigns at least till a certain level. Otherwise, you can Google for lot many documents and then you'll be finding different articles and documents that talks about campaign optimization points. For people who are taking the training through this like practical training sheet, they can access this document from uh, row number, I guess, okay, row number 19. And then I'll be also trying to add the link of this